It's me again. It's been a day, but I wanted to get this stuff done for you all. Um, Therapeutic Alliance. The Therapeutic Alliance is the relationship between you and your client. And Carl Rogers argued decades ago that it was the real agent of change when we're working with clients and trying to help them heal. He argued that building trust with the client, giving them unconditional positive regard, meeting them where they are, having a collaborative relationship with them, that was what really made the difference and fostered healing. And of course, the majority of therapists and researchers about therapy went into an uproar and were like, no, 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 it's the intervention that creates change. That's why we promote this intervention over that intervention over that intervention. And so we had probably a good 20 years of research trying to prove um, Carl Rogers wrong. And in the end, all they did was actually prove him right. The reality is that the Therapeutic Alliance, it isn't just within the context of the therapy room. Within the context of the medical world, it's also often referred to as the placebo effect. We know that the more that a patient trusts their doctor, their physician, and the more that that physician believes in and promotes that they believe in an intervention, the more likely that it will create change, regardless of whether or not it really actually has any basis for it. Which is how the medical community finally came out and said about 50% of all change that comes from medical intervention is actually the placebo effect. Well, that relationship, that therapeutic alliance, emerges within the relationship, the connection between you as a clinician and your client, whether you are a case manager, whether you're a resource connecting person, whether you work in hospitals, in a therapy room, doesn't matter. If you're working with people and trying to help them create change, you are or you aren't building a therapeutic alliance. And it is the real agent of change. When you want to go somewhere, say you get in your car and you're traveling to a new city and you want to go to a restaurant in the new city and you have no idea where it is. So you use GPS, probably Waze. That's my favorite. You type in the address and you follow the directions, right? Takes you to the restaurant, tells you where to park. Fabulous technology. Therapy interventions, when we think about things like psychodynamic therapy, cognitive processing therapy, even MBSR, um, motivational interviewing, CBT, TFCBT. You can give them all names, EMDR. I don't care which one you're talking about. If you don't have a therapeutic alliance, they're not going to make a difference because your client likely isn't going to buy into it anyway. All of those interventions think of them as the GPS directions to get to your destination. And just as when you're driving somewhere, there are likely multiple routes that you can take. When you're working with your clients, there are multiple interventions that you could use. Okay? Don't fall into the trap of being a one or two intervention clinician and believing wholeheartedly that's where all the change is happening. It's not, because if you don't have a good therapeutic alliance with your client, it doesn't matter what intervention you use, no change is going to happen. And if you do have a good therapeutic alliance with your client, It doesn't matter what intervention you use, because change will happen. I said in one of my previous videos that we develop as social beings. And the things that really affect us and matter to us all happen within the context of relationships. It's the way that our brain is made. And it's crucial that, one, you're focusing on developing your therapeutic alliance. Two, that you're mindful to assess it from time to time. I included a questionnaire for you. And three, that you allow yourself sort of that step back and that breath to ease off the stress of, I have to master this intervention and I have to be perfect at it, or nothing is going to get better. Nothing's going to change. Yeah, no. That's how we can see change in, for example, indigenous populations. They have specific intervention specialists that literally like community friends who just go out and try to help people because it's the relationship that creates the change. How you can see change in support groups without any therapeutic supervision or direction. How you can see change in people through friendships. Because relationships affect us. And when we have a good therapeutic alliance with a client, we are modeling a healthy relationship. We are giving them unconditional positive regard. We're accepting them where they are. We're believing in them. We're fostering healthy self-esteem. We're giving them a good self-concept because we don't judge them. We're not looking down on them. We're showing them that we believe in them and that we wholeheartedly believe that they can achieve what they put their mind to. That is profound, absolutely profound. And anecdotally, I promise, I know you understand that, especially, and I'm sure you have, if you've ever had a person in your life for a short or a long period of time who didn't believe in you, who looked down on you, who judged you, and how much that affected you, how much it altered your thoughts, your feelings, your behavior. Many of us are scarred from experiences, from teachers we had when we were kids, from coaches that we might have had, from parents or parents of friends, because of how we were treated. And we can have it as adults too. So how do you foster the therapeutic alliance? First, you must be trustworthy. That means you keep your word. And if for some reason you think you're not going to be able to keep a promise, then don't make it. Okay? Don't overpromise and underdeliver. Okay? 2, be real. Be real with your clients. Self-disclosure is not a bad thing. It's actually a really good tool. Okay? It promotes what's called shared vulnerability. And it allows your client to see you as a real person. And when you express some vulnerability, it makes them feel safe. It breaks down that power differential. You don't want to be sitting up here and have your client way down here, where they have to lay their lives open and share with a complete stranger things they likely haven't told anybody else while you're completely secretive. The key to self-disclosure, though, is you don't want to turn the tables so that suddenly they're worried about you. But shared vulnerability is good. So be trustworthy. Self-disclosure with some shared vulnerability is good. Promote self-determination, all right? Which means you're collaborating with your client. You're not telling them where they're going or where they need to go, okay? You are asking them, giving them options about what intervention approach you can use, and what do they think, um, they feel the most comfortable with. What do they feel like would be the best approach, for them? Say, we could take route A, B, or C. Which one of these sounds like it would, you know, be best for you, or which one of these sounds the most doable to you, right? Um, and then checking for feedback, checking in with your client. Don't just make the assumption that everything is going fine. How's everything been going? So we've been doing this for, we agreed, we make an agreement for time. We've been doing this for 3-4 weeks. How's it going? Right? Do you feel like we're seeing the progress that you're looking for? Um, or do you want to continue in this direction, or do you feel like we might need to consider trying something else? Right? Treat your client as an expert on your client, because they are. All right. And there are other little things that you can do, but those are the big, the big, the big ones. Okay. Be trustworthy. Okay. Um, use some self disclosure for some shared vulnerability. Um, have a collaborative, or promote self determination through a collaborative relationship. Okay. Um, and as long as you're doing that, you're not going to have an issue with developing a therapeutic alliance. All right. So that's my big beef about the Therapeutic Alliance. And I don't think I have any more videos. So I'll see you in our next live session. Thanks for listening.